She was seeing this other guy too who has Netflix. Like, and I don't know what my mom does. I think they're just friends, but I don't know if they Netflix and chill or they Paramount Plus and snore. Whatever they do is fine. But she said he has Netflix, and when I tell you he has Netflix, I mean he still has Netflix. Send DVDs to his mailbox. I shit you not. Did anybody know that was still an option on the table? That used to be the whole business model. Now it's just the one cubicle in the corner. It's like, well, we can't fire Todd. He's the boss's kid. Just give him a bunch of those envelopes to play with. And I don't long for that era. I don't long for the era of getting DVDs in the mail. I miss the previous era when the whole family would pile in the car Friday night and you go to Blockbuster Video. That was a big night. Big night in the Ellis family. Because you drive out there, and it was so exciting going to the video store with all this anticipation, and you knew you were leaving with your fourth choice. Because we all had the same strategy. You go to the video store, you start new releases, you go A to Z, and then everybody disperses to their favorite section. My sister tried to rent a horror movie. Oh, that's going to scare your little brother. My dad wanted an action movie. Honey, it's rated R. Mark is trying to rent Basic Instinct again. That's not going to work. So then you just get in this debate, and it ends 30 minutes later with, well, you know what? Fuck it. Just grab Sister Act again, and we'll all watch that. We went to Blockbuster once, but it was like 3 towns over. So my town, Williamsburg, Virginia, we didn't have Blockbuster. We had the local video store, Video Update, which was actually better than Blockbuster because we had all the same sections they had, but Video Update also had the curtain. Yeah, the curtain. It was always way in the back, and it was black with like glitter and weird stains all over it. That was the curtain that led to the adult film section. And you weren't allowed back in there if you were under 18. They had a mirror so everybody could see who was in there. And 12-year-old Mark Ellis came up with a scheme. Yeah. 4-person operation. Me, my buddies Jack, Brian, and Doug. So Jack got a ride to my house. We rode bikes to Brian's, and then we rode bikes to Doug's. Doug's dad was a Marine, so Doug took this shit seriously. He comes out of his house. He's 12 years old, head-to-toe camo. He's like, hey, man, I couldn't get the sword, but I got a knife. And we're like, what the fuck are you talking about? So here's what I came up with. My job was to distract the front clerk guy, right? You know the guy who's always judging you. He's got his picks that are sacred. Doesn't matter what you're renting, he's going to say it's not good enough. Like, oh, 2001: A Space Odyssey, Kubrick's other space movie. Have you seen the moon landing? So my job is to entertain that guy. Brian, Jack, they were the lookout, and then Doug was the most crucial part of the operation. Doug G.I. Joe crawled back there, and he couldn't get back to the magical land of Oz, but he could reach his hand around the corner, and he could pull a movie. Only problem was he couldn't see what movie he was pulling. So first time we tried it, he pulled Edward Penis Hands. So now we got to watch a movie about a guy with 5 dicks on his hand, which ended up being one of my top 10 favorite film experiences of all time. Because we put it on at my house where we had all the good snacks, and we're watching it, and this is like 2 a.m, and my mom comes downstairs, half awake, just to get a glass of water. She walks through the living room like, oh, I love Winona Ryder. Good night, guys. So then Doug pulled another one the next week. We got cocky, and he pulled Hot Asian Invasion 6. Yeah. If you know anything about that franchise, that's when it got good. That was their Fast 5. But that's not the end of the mission. Now you have to go to another section and switch the tapes out with something we're allowed to rent. So he goes to the family section. First movie he sees, The Adventures of Milo and Otis. If you don't remember that movie, it's a dog and a cat, and they go across the country together. It's a great journey. And the guy working there thinks, we can't wait to get home to see this. And the next guy that tries to rent Hot Asian Invasion 6 instead gets the adorable journey of a dog and a cat going across the country together. And it's just such a weird mindfuck to think all those guys that I came up with that scheme with, they have families. And me, I just moved out to LA and I chased this dream, and it's going okay now. But I mean, there's a lot of misadventures you get into back in the day. And I used to work at the world famous Comedy Store. I used to be an employee there, and you do whatever they ask you to do. You park the cars, you clean up the puke, work the front desk. So I drank a lot. And I remember I got home one night and I was hammered, and it was my little studio apartment, right? I've since added a whole bedroom to the empire. So whenever you get home and you're drunk, you're some level of one of three things. You're either tired, you're hungry, or you're horny. And you don't know which one you are all the time. Sometimes you think you're one, and it turns out, no, you were something else. So a couple weeks prior to this, I had met a sex worker at a gentleman's establishment. If you're over 50 in this room, I met a hooker at a strip club. And so I got her number, and she's like, we should hang out sometime. And I'm like, oh, we should hang out sometime. And so I get home from the Comedy Store, I'm hammered, and I make 2 phone calls. And then I pass out. I called her, and I called Pizza Hut. And then I fell asleep. So I woke up the next day, I had a bunch of missed calls, and then I got 2 texts that morning. One was from her, and it said, thanks for the pizza, asshole. And then the other one was from the Pizza Hut guy, and it said, dude, anytime you need pizza, you give me a call. Nobody out pizzas the Hut, but I out pussied the Hut that night. Yeah, but you get older in life and you think, oh wait, there's more stages to this whole thing than we originally thought, right? Because when you're a kid, you think, oh, I'm gonna grow up, I'll meet somebody, I'll get married, I'll have kids, that's the end. No, I'm here to tell you, if you're still single and you're my age, there's more to life. There's more phases than you were taught. I just entered a new one that I never knew existed. Nobody told me about this, but now I'm in the phase of my life. A lot of my married friends, they're getting divorced. My friends are coming back. If you love something, set it free. And you feel bad for the family or whatever, but you're also excited, right? You're like, I got my buddy back, sweet. But you gotta be careful. That's not really your friend anymore, is it? No, it looks like your friend, but they've been through some shit you can't understand. So it's like you took your friend, as you knew them, buried them in Pet Cemetery, and now they're back, like, hey, what's up, man? Hey, man, you got any of those PlayStation 5s left? I saw a tweet. You got any?